0 likes this time.
Maybe they fixed it.
1 like now. Hey Larry, hey Priscilla. That only says 1 person is watching. 3 people now. Maybe it is gonna work. I didn't know anyone else was still here.
That's why I was checking. See who that was.
Hey Fern. Hey Caramel Candy. Hey Kimberly Ann. Hey Connie. Guess we did it at the right time today. Extra late.
Well, this place is a mess. It had to be done.
We cleaned up a little bit. We're doing all right. This week feels like basically a total waste though.
Pretty much.
Didn't get a whole lot of work done. We were off Monday. My office closed early on Tuesday. Closed all day Wednesday. Half a day yesterday. Open late today. But hopefully the roads will be all cleared up this weekend. There's still a little bit of ice this morning in some spots, but it's mostly.
And my short day was even shorter.
Yeah, I'll let you tell your story.
Yeah, nothing to tell. Somebody was giving up a cat, man, go get it.
Oh, that's your job to tell it.
You know as much as I do.
You know more than me, you did it. Yeah, it's definitely an extreme winter. Well, I don't know. The year we got married, before we got married, there was snow and a tornado in February, right?
I don't remember if the snow was in February or January. I can't remember.
It might have been
Pretty close
January.
together.
But yeah, there was snow and then we had a tornado. Damage producing tornado. We have tornadoes that spin up pretty often here. Not necessarily right here, but you know, in the area. That's definitely the worst one we ever lived through.
For the worst one we ever lived through, period.
That's what I just said.
I'm saying from here on out, I don't want to ever deal with
Oh.
it.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we're never that close to a tornado again. Hank says, I've been waiting for this.
He got some of it yesterday.
Mm-hmm. What, Lily? Don't care. She's not even looking at it. She can't tell it's in front of her. What? She's looking at me. No, don't put Doc up there. He's gonna jump at that screen.
Get it, Doc. Get it, Doc. Nope.
Wilson.
Listen, leave her alone. You're being so nice today.
Yeah, she does a little like meow and kicks her head back when she meows thing. That's what she always does when she's decided that nobody's paying enough attention to her. Sometimes Salem, does Binks do it or is it just Salem?
What?
The little head tilt thing?
I think it's just Salem, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
I think Salem does that sometimes at home. I don't think any of these guys really do it.
I haven't seen her do it. What are you crying about, Stella? Stella.
She says, where's my babies? Wilson is the biggest chatty Cathy out of these guys, I think. If he's in the right mood, he'll just talk back to you.
Wilson. He's clear as our face, but slow her down.
My Luna, the white cat, our oldest cat,
Wilson. Come on.
will talk back to me as long as I keep talking to her. I just keep saying, what? She'll just keep meowing at me. Stella!
Don't play with something to do.
Stella! Stella! What are you doing? What's going on back here? She says, I don't know. I don't know who was making that noise. It wasn't me. Yeah, that was Stella. Just talking to herself or talking to the babies back in that room. But she doesn't talk to us. You go in there, you try and keep talking to her, and she's like, nope. Zelda, your little pudgy belly. You're almost as bad as Doc.
No.
Little fluff. Well, he's a bigger cat than she is.
Bigger around.
He's bigger bone structure wise too. Wilson. What you doing? Oh, Wilson.
He's getting a little more calm.
We hadn't given any of these guys an actual like water bath, if that's what you're asking about. Only a couple of our cats at home have ever gotten baths when they've gotten into poop or whatever and had to
That's when they were
be
really little.
washed off. And no, you haven't heard anything more about Zelda, right? But you did get an inquiry about Wilson.
Well, the inquiry about Wilson was asking what the adoption fees were. Not heard anything beyond that.
Well, did you send info on him and his age and our
I didn't
stuff?
send anything. She sent me the email and said she had already replied to her question about the adoption fees, and she would forward me any follow-up. So it would be fine.
But I guess you don't want to tell the story. Or are you going to tell it?
You can tell it.
Tell it.
You tell it.
No.
You tell it better. Wilson.
Get off of
You
that.
tell it better than me.
How do I tell it better than you? I wasn't even there. I heard it all secondhand.
You're a better storyteller.
Quit it.
Wilson.
Buddy.
I'm just gonna stop doing that.
Buddy, that is mean. Nobody wants you to hump them when they're trying to play. Just jealous. Someone in a local pet group posted that they didn't want their cat anymore because it kept peeing on the floor, and they were going to take it to the pound tomorrow if someone didn't come and get it today. So he went and got it and took it to the vet that we've taken all these guys to. So it's there under the rescue that we deal with. All of these guys are spayed and neutered. Yes. I think he just does it as a dominance thing. A couple of our cats at home sometimes do that to the other cats when they're playing. Try and show their boss, I guess. But the cat, how old was the cat?
2 years old.
2 years old. It was a female orange tabby.
More blonde than orange.
Well, I mean, that still counts as an orange tabby, but like a very light cream tabby or blonde tabby.
Middle, long hair.
Never been to the vet, never been spayed.
Listen.
Apparently the peeing in the floor thing was the line for this person, and they decided they didn't want to deal with it anymore, so.
Well, she was upset because it was peeing on the floor where her kid was playing. And she didn't have money to take it to the vet to see if something was wrong.
So,
And then people started bashing her on Facebook, and I tried to maintain calm and tell her to let me come get it before she deleted the post and just dumped the cat somewhere. Because people were just being brutal.
well, like you said, her post was not worded in a way that
No,
garnered
it was
any
not.
sympathy
It
whatsoever
could
for
have
her.
been worded in a much better way than it was.
Basically, like all caps, I hate my cat, someone come and get it.
Yeah, and a reply to a comment was, I found her in the bushes when she was a few weeks old, and you should be glad I didn't just leave her there to die, and things like that. And I don't know, she was nice to me, but that's about all I'll say about that.
I think compared with dogs, people see cats as a lot more disposable just because it's a lot easier to just leave them outside and forget about them if you're
Well,
moving and you can't take them,
To
or
her credit, the cat had never been outside.
Mhm.
Therefore, even though it wasn't fixed, it had never gotten pregnant.
Well, that's good at least. But I mean, if you want a free cat, you're pretty much guaranteed to be able to find a free cat around here from somebody just because the overpopulation problem is so bad.
Call
So-
my hand, Wilson, it's over with.
So if people get a free cat, then they're like, this free cat should never cost me any money. And once it gets to a point where it might cost them some money, they're like, well, I don't want this free cat anymore.
But on the bright side, I got another covered litter box. It's,
Like that kind.
yeah,
We just gotta clean it out.
that came with the cat, and they don't need it at the vet's office, so I will wash it, and we will have another covered box.
One less spot for Doc to make a mess.
Well, that's lazy, Lionel.
Yeah, we know we're not like everyone, but all of our cats at home, they're our cats for forever, barring some sort of issue that's completely impossible to deal with, in which case we'd find them
Yeah,
a
Taddy
good
keeps
home.
picking on my Russell. We're gonna have to come to some kind of decision.
No, we'll figure it out.
Better. Better leave my Russell alone.
I follow a bunch of different rescues on Instagram. And there was one that was posting about a poor, abused gray cat that they'd rescued.
Let me have
One
it.
of my cats when I was a kid was
Let me have it. Let go. Let go.
but
What are we missing?
I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
Lionel.
One of my cats when I was a kid was a solid gray cat like that, and someone had like chopped at its toes and mangled its ears all up. So it was in really, really bad shape. Like it'd been seriously abused, and the rescue took it and was having it, at the vet with follow-up things, whether they can save any of the toes or amputate things or whatnot. And its ears, they'd like clean them up, but they had stitches all around the edges of them where they had to, trim off the damaged tissue. And I think at least some of the toes already had to go because they were too messed up. I think the tail was messed up and got necrotic, so they had to remove the tail. I just don't understand how people can be such sociopaths to hurt defenseless little animals.
Fuck. You missed his joke.
There was a local story about a poor puppy that kids were beating that got
Yeah, I think it's
saved. Yeah,
recovered now.
I saw the follow-up post, and it's doing fine.
They've had the broken leg, right?
Yeah. Someone came up on like two kids beating this little puppy up, broke its leg and all that, but it got rescued and is
Thinking.
doing better now.
I've just never in my lifetime seen a puppy or a kitten and thought, hey, I'm gonna go hurt that.
There's something seriously wrong with people who are able to do that. Like, it's a mental or moral failing. Like, they're not a normal human being.
They end up being mass murderers.
That's what happens. People start with animals and move on to people. But semi-related to that, I know bees aren't as fuzzy or easy to care about as furry animals, but I saw a story about some kids who killed like 500,000 bees up in Iowa because they went and kicked all the hives over and threw out all the supplies and smashed things. They're like 12 years old, so it's going to be in juvenile court. But the beekeepers had, like, people started GoFundMe for them, and they're already halfway to their goal to be able to start back up in the spring. But, you know, it's just senseless. What did a bee ever do to you that you felt like you had to murder 500,000 of them?
If it were a wasp, I'd understand.
I still wouldn't want to murder 500,000 wasps for no reason. Oh, Zelda. I have a big soft spot for every sort of animal. I mean, I don't like wasps because they sting and hurt me, but I still wouldn't want to. I don't like when I have to spray them. I don't like watching them die. Like that. That's disturbing.
Snakes, but I don't seek them out to kill them.
You better not. I like snakes.
I hate snakes. But as long as
Snakes,
they stay away from me, I'm
snakes
fine.
have a place in the ecosystem.
That's fine. I just don't want to see them.
Most of the time you don't. They work behind the scenes.
Listen. I guess this is better for you guys than the laser pointer because you actually get some reward when you catch it.
Yeah.
All right, let it go.
I don't know how to make the laser pointer rewarding.
Man, he could kill somebody with those claws. Look at that. Are you gonna let it go? I really don't want to reach down there and all that.
I'm gonna scruff him up closer to his head. Make his jaws release. Wow!
Let it go. Let it go. Your claws are in dire need of a trim.
Ah, I'm trying to smack you in the head with it. Oh! Is that a 360? Where did Stella situate herself? She was walking around in there, but she might have chosen a spot to stay.
Probably the hammock, I guess.
Yep, her usual hammock spot. If you check on the cameras while they're shut in here, that's where she is like 90% of the time.
She likes it.
They were all going crazy the other night, though. What night was that? Last night or the night before? The night before, they were all running all over the
I
place.
think you do that at least once a night at some point. It's usually
Including
after you go to
Stella.
sleep.
That's like that video. Whoa! I like funny videos where people pretend like they're cats, you know, like reenact what your crazy cat does.
I have to do
There's
the
one,
thing.
yeah, one where the guy was laying next to his wife or whatever. It was 2 a.m. The alarm went off, and he's like, "I got to do the thing." And she's like, "Do you have to?" And he's like, "I have to." And then he just runs around the house, knocking everything over. Hey, Mr. Krabs. They all have to have their fit in the middle of the night.
They're good with us when they're in the bed. They won't deal with that. It's the ones that are not in the bed. With us.
Remember the video that was like the guy pretending to be a dog and the guy pretending to be a cat? Like the dog was all, you know, like friendly and wanted to be all up in the people's business, and then the cat just kept like hiding behind everything and then running away. Woo!
You okay?
Look at the dirt on his back.
He's safe. You all right? I'm trying to trying to give you carpet burn. I guess he's fine. He's gonna try to get it again.
This Zelda flip. No. Thud. Thud. No one paying attention to you, Lily?
You missed another jump. You got it, Hank.
What you doing, Lily? Just watching.
Stumpy, you want in?
Oh, Stumpy. Ready for some action. Ugh, sorry, I got the sniffles. Going for it too, Zelda. Yeah, Lily is one of the permanent residents. As is Stumpy.
Yeah, Stumpy's not going anywhere.
Stumpy the bear. This one's Stumpy.
Why don't you get down here so you can stand up?
She says, I stand up on the top. Yeah, Stumpy and Lily are permanent residents. Stumpy and Lily. Not up for adoption. We had them since before the other cats and their kittens came in.
Here, a couple of years.
Not quite 2 years.
Pretty close.
Lily will be 2 years like February, right?
That's next month.
I know, and then Stumpy not until June. Right? They're born in June.
Her kittens were born in June.
Mm-hmm.
She was not born in June. She's the same age as.
I know this.
Okay.
I'm talking about how long we've had her in here. Didn't have her in until she was pregnantly.
I was stepping on a cat, but it was a toy.
What are you doing, Stump?
Well, come back, Stumpy. That wasn't very much effort.
You're such a pretty girl. Oh, sorry, I couldn't see. And Zelda turned off the switch earlier, which is why we lost our streams for a little bit.
Well, she just, I don't know why that one in there turned off, but that one in there is because she hit the power strip and she was chasing a bug.
I thought they did something to this computer.
No, the computer never shut off. It was just the screen.
Sorry, Lionel. You guys get right behind my feet. I don't see you.
I don't know if anyone was watching that room earlier, somewhere 4:15 and after the spare room. I was in there with them. Zelda kept jumping up on the shelf where the camera is and getting behind it. I kept picking her up and putting her back down, but that's where she wanted to be. Woo. 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 Hank, he just has no concern for his body at all.
Oh. Step on Doc.
Doc doesn't care. Look at him.
I guess I'll roll over and try to get it, but I'm not going to get up and jump around.
What? Well, I got it. So this is mine.
Can I have it back?
What, Lily? Yep, that's Doc growling at the toy.
Can I have it back?
He's gonna scratch you doing it that way. You know better.
What?
You almost got it again, didn't you?
Doc. That one is Hank, and that one is Zelda. You look so fat, Zelda. Look at that gut on you. Look at that gut. Hank's not quite as fat. And Wilson is still a skinny mini. Sorry again about the sniffles.
Need to go to the doctor.
No, thank you.
You just got over being sick. Now you're getting sick again. You don't want to go to the doctor and try to...
I don't want to go to the doctor and catch the flu while I'm there. Because apparently the flu vaccine is not preventing all the flu.
Come on, Doc.
Hold it while I go blow my nose. You gotta hold that up in your hand so they don't try and get it.
Sorry, she handed the phone off to me. I hit something. Yeah, I read something about that. And of course, I haven't always gotten the flu shot, but I did get one this year, so of course it's not going to work. But so far so good. No flu.
Bring the Chinese food home.
Well, that just means the animals aren't going to eat until like 8 o'clock. But I will if you want it.
I might be able to feed them. Ah!
Yeah, there was a 13-year-old girl here that died from the flu.
Well, you said it was a boy.
Well,
Or you said a kid.
I said a kid. I think it was a 13-year-old girl. It may have been a boy, but I think it was a girl.
Member of the organization that I worked for, a long time member, an elderly guy in the north part of the state who died of the flu last week too. And someone around our age, also in the organization I worked for, died the other week. He had had the flu and then he died, and I don't know if they're sure whether it was the flu or something related to it.
Yeah, that is scary. I don't know if I've ever had pneumonia before.
I had walking pneumonia when I was in college, which I think just basically means it's not the kind that makes you bedridden.
Ooh, careful.
Oh, buddy. Are you okay? Oh, it might have hurt. You all right? Can't keep it, Doc.
Apparently he's fine.
Limping? Like maybe you landed on it. I couldn't see those out there.
Well, he didn't walk far enough for me to see if he was limping. But I don't think he would be jumping right now if it hurt him too bad. But yeah, if any of you guys want a 2-year-old cat that's super sweet and good with dogs,
No.
might have one available for adoption in a couple weeks. It'll probably have to go about a week on antibiotics and get a whatever, assuming it's urinary tract issue, which I suspect it is. I don't think the cat would have just started peeing on everything for no reason.
There's always a reason.
Yeah, she suspected it was jealous of the kid, but she had a small child in the house. But the child was not a newborn. The child was sitting up in the floor on its own, so I don't see why that would be the issue. But if it's a urinary tract issue, antibiotics will clear that up in about a week, and then I guess it'll have to be free from any infection before they'll do the spay. It was a super sweet cat, though. I mean, I picked it up and it was totally fine with me holding it. I put it in the carrier, walked it out to the truck, drove it across town, and it never cried once. got it to the vet. And the girl working the desk took it out of the carrier and held it, and she was totally fine with that. She still wasn't crying. She wasn't scratching or hissing or squirming to get away.
I think if it was finding a house with a child besides peeing on stuff.
Yeah, and
Well-behaved cat.
it lived in a house with a pit bull, and they told me that they would play together, so it will be fine with dogs.
I guess you're gonna do the FIV and.
Yeah, they'll do all of that. Since it's never had shots or anything, and if it's FIV, you know where it's going.
Okay. They still have to take him back and test him to see if he actually is.
Yeah. But she said it doesn't like other cats, but I don't know how she would know that if that's the only cat in the house and it never goes outside.
Try to have a cat play date like crazy people. Cats don't work that way. Like the person who was interested in Zelda had asked about like bringing her cat up here to meet our cat.
Yeah.
And we're like, that's.
It would be a stressful thing for all involved, especially to drive your cat up here and bring it into an unfamiliar place. That would be undue stress enough on the cat, and then to bring it in here with all these other guys and the smells and all that would probably freak her cat out.
Our cats will freak out because there's a strange cat in their space.
Well, Lily does that anyway, and they've been here for 7-8 months.
Cats aren't like dogs. You can't introduce them and see if they get along. You have to slowly introduce them and hope they get along.
Do I
In some
tap?
cases they don't.
Told me to tap to put your phone into power save mode.
Don't do that. I mess up the. Did you tap it?
What are you doing, Zelda?
It's just telling you if the battery is low.
But yeah, I had no intention of going to pick up a cat today, but the way her post was written and the way people responded to all that, they were just ripping into that lady. So I figured I better go get it before something bad happens. And I guess you guys saw, if you went to our Facebook page, that Wilson got some lessons in today. Probably
Where are you going?
one of the longest amount of times he's
Where are
spent
you
in my
going with
lap.
that? You can't have that. Come back here.
So hopefully
Look, you're missing it. Just trying to
we'll
take
make
it
more
with you.
progress next week.
Oh.
Don't make him jump anymore. I don't know if he's favoring that back leg or what, where he hit the thing over there.
I think he seems okay. All right. This one's all right.
And Hank actually surprised me quite a bit today, because normally this is Mr. Frady Cat about everything almost, but he didn't flinch when I turned the vacuum cleaner on. He just kind of perked up and looked at it, and then he hopped up on the table and sprawled out like he does any other time. So I'd say Hank has made a little progress.
Look at that.
And this goes on several times a day.
You guys certainly didn't seem like you wanted to be friends when you were both little.
It's almost dead, I think.
He's telling me my phone's about dead, so I guess
He
we'll
just told me low battery again.
wrap it on up for the day. Tomorrow, probably late morning.
Yeah. And very possibly PetSmart Sunday.
We'll
From-
see.
1 to, I think she said 1 to 4, 1 to 3. They're also doing it tomorrow, but I don't know if I'll get up and get by there tomorrow.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. We'll be back again probably 10 or 11 in the morning to get that out of the way early in the day. So have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you then. Say bye, Wilson. He says, I don't want to say bye, I want the toy.